Under 4.4, we are going to understand something to do with the translating graphs. And I think it is important to understand some statements written on page 67, where they're saying that you can transform the graph of a function by altering the function. Adding or subtracting a constant outside the function translates a graph vertically. The graph of y is equals to fx, y is equals to fx plus a is a translation of the graph y is equals to fx by a vector 0a. But anyway, I have tried to summarize a lot of things, but it is important that you note that there is outside, there is inside, there is vertical, there is horizontal, there is addition, and there is multiplication. So in summary, I have tried to talk or to come up with something that is quite simple for the students to understand, and I call it Mayo. I will explain what Mayo means and what kind of work Mayo does. Inside here, this is multiplication, this is addition, this is inside, this is outside. And we have minus a there, we have 1 over a, and then we have a and a. So in this case, we talk about T, S, V, H. They should vote her, or whatever it is that you need to remember. Teachers should value holiness, or whatever it is that you need to say. But what does that mean? There is multiplication inside and there is addition inside, and in examples that will follow, we will continue to use this summary to see how graphs are translated. And I want to say in example 8, we are told to example 8. In example 8, we're supposed to sketch the graph of sketch y is equals to x squared. And y is equals to x squared, that is part A. And part B, y is equals to x minus 2 squared. And part C, y is equals to x squared plus 2. I will explain all this, but to attempt to explain y is equals to x squared is a general function, is a general graph that we know, that simply looks like that. This is y is equals to x squared. If you attempt to sketch the graph of y is equals to x minus 2 squared, yes, you can plot, but using Mayo, you can very easily sketch this kind of graph, because you can see there is an addition of negative 2 and it is inside. Inside means negative 2 is being operated together with x. If x was squared, then the negative 2 is still operated under the square. So the graph of y is equals to x minus 2 squared, this is addition inside, and addition inside, we just go to the Mayo table. Addition inside means horizontal translation. This means horizontal translation of minus 2 steps, because you can see addition inside means horizontal translation of negative a steps. In this case, our a was negative 2. You can see plus negative 2 means minus 2. And if our a was negative 2, so the horizontal translation of minus a, which means 2 steps. Minus negative a means 2 steps. What does this really mean? This means that since we are dealing with horizontal translation, we are simply going to affect the x values and not the y values. Horizontal deals with x values. Translation, it talks about adding some steps. Adding some steps. So it means, what does this mean? All x values plus 2 steps, because it is horizontal and it is translation. Translation means plus. Stretch means times. It is important that you note that. But we are soon coming to explain the stretch. So if this was the y is equals to x squared, and it touched the x-axis at the point 0, 0, if this particular point move to the right 2 steps, then we are going to have a curve that looks like this. That looks like this. So what was 0 plus 2? 2. And what is this? This is because when x is now 0, it is going to give the value of y. What was the value of y when x was minus 2? Because minus 2 plus 2, we got 0. If we substituted minus 2 here, and we found out the minus 2 squared is 4, so this particular point is 4, because it is coming to the right 2 steps. So this is the graph of y is equals to x minus 2 squared. Remember, according to the Mayo summary, it is addition inside, which is horizontal translation of negative a steps. Incidentally, our a happens to be negative 2, so negative minus negative 2 means positive 2 steps. That means to the right 2 steps. So all x values plus 2, that means 2, they will go to the right 2 steps. Remember, y values are not affected. The y values are not affected, and that is part B. And part C, so to speak, let me outline or explain part C. Part C, we are supposed to sketch the graph of y is equals to x squared plus 2. You can see that the 2 has been added, and due to the fact that it is not being affected by the square, then we call it addition outside. And according to our Mayo table, addition outside means you can see addition outside. Addition outside means vertical translation. This is vertical translation of 2 steps, because our a is 2. What does this mean? Vertical translation of 2 steps. Vertical will only affect the y values and never the x. That means all y values plus 2 steps. What does this mean? This means upwards. Plus 2 means upwards 2 steps from what was the value of y originally. So the graph of y is equals to x squared plus 2 will easily be shown to look like this was 0, now it's becoming 2, and this is y is equals to x squared plus 2. All y values, these are, it goes up 2 steps, and the graph we have now is the graph of y is equals to x squared plus 2. This is just an introduction of what Mayo can do. We are going to get some other examples as we move forward, but please remember the summary of Mayo. We have just introduced Mayo because if you try to understand the literature and what you're supposed to behave in case of a translation, it gets a bit confusing. But the moment you study Mayo and understand it, you will never go wrong in this topic. So this is just example 8. I hope that you have followed. Note that we were dealing with addition inside, and we have also dealt with addition outside. And addition inside was horizontal translation of minus a steps, meaning that all x values minus 2, or rather plus 2. The second one, we're dealing with addition outside. You can see 2 is outside, and addition outside means vertical. Addition outside means vertical translation of 2 steps, meaning that all y values, you add each one of them 2 steps. That means there is an upwards translation of 2 steps. Please note that in part C, you can also say in part C, x values are not affected, simply because it was vertical, just like y values were not affected in part B, simply because we are dealing with horizontal. All right?